Rick also has a baby mother who's currently working as a call girl. He has a daughter by Brooke.
I kicked Rick ass. Kicked Rick Ross ass, right?
I'm deciding to your life up. Rick, bro, I'm gonna your life up.
Rick Ross spent years acting unbothered, but his baby mama just exposed the real reason he's afraid of 50 Cent. And it's worse than anyone imagined. The man who built his empire on being a boss has reportedly been losing sleep over the one enemy he can't shake. When Ross finally clapped back, it wasn't just about pride, it was about survival. 50 Cent dismantled him from the inside out, leaving many wondering how Ross even stayed standing. It all started with a single look. At the 2008 BET Awards, one glance was enough for Ross to take offense. Meanwhile, 50 had no idea what was happening. He later claimed he didn't even remember seeing Ross that night. But in hip-hop, disrespect, intentional or not, is a declaration of war. For Ross, that moment sparked a battle he never saw coming, one that would change the course of their rivalry forever.
Ross and 50, they've had a long-standing beef for years. And I think this Rick Ross beef is the one beef that 50 will never let go of.
At the peak of his career, Rick Ross felt untouchable. With 2 platinum albums and a solidified image as hip-hop's ultimate boss, he was riding high. But when he locked eyes with 50 Cent at the BET Awards, something snapped. Maybe it was paranoia, maybe it was a bid for clout. Either way, he decided to go after one of the most ruthless figures in hip-hop history. And let's be real, that decision would change his career forever. The problem? 50 Cent didn't even remember seeing Ross that night. That's the level of pettiness at play here. But Ross took it as an opportunity to launch an all-out attack, completely unaware of the storm he was about to unleash. Ross thought he was creating drama to boost his name alongside one of rap's biggest icons. What he didn't anticipate was that 50 Cent was about to go nuclear, turning a simple misunderstanding into one of the most brutal feuds in hip-hop history.
Is there anything about Ross and his career that you have any respect for?
Oh, no, there's nothing there. There's nothing there. I never wanted to work with him.
Ross didn't just throw shade in an interview. He went straight for the jugular with mafia music. In the track, he made a not-so-subtle reference to the house fire that nearly claimed the lives of 50 Cent's baby mama and their son. At first glance, Ross's diss might have sounded like typical rap bravado, but everyone knew what he was implying. He was stirring up a controversy 50 Cent had already been accused of orchestrating. Shaniqua Tompkins, 50's ex, had publicly blamed him for the house fire that destroyed her home while 6 people were inside. Ross seized on the scandal, and it didn't take long for 50 to respond. But Ross didn't stop at a diss track. He doubled down, making bold claims about his dominance in hip-hop, acting as if he had already won the war before it even began. However, if there's one thing 50 Cent excels at, it's taking rap beef to a personal level. Instead of just dropping a diss track, 50 set out to dismantle Rick Ross's entire public persona. That's when he started digging, and what he found would change everything.
Hey, say what the f you want about 50 Cent, but I swear this man's pettiness is uncanny. Like this, I feel it's everybody's alter ego.
According to Tia Kemp, Ross wasn't the boss he claimed to be. She revealed he was leasing cars, renting jewelry, and living a far less extravagant life than the one he portrayed in his lyrics.
I mean, it's sort of embarrassing to me, you know, because as you listen to his raps, you would definitely believe him, but I mean, it was surprising that he would sit there and say he spends $200 a month on food, $300 a month on clothes, his jewelry is rented.
Then 50 did what Ross couldn't. He took Tia on a shopping spree, spoiling her just to prove a point.
You don't know where the money came from to put a down payment on a $1 million home. And, you know, it's just sad, you know, and I just want to prove the facts today here on This Is 50. It's all real, coming from Tia.
50 then took Ross's own son on a Vegas trip with Floyd Mayweather, snapping photos of them together to flaunt.
Also has a baby mother who's currently working as a call girl. He has a daughter by Brooke, right there. Can you see that? This is like the adult. This is like where you can find really exclusive whores.
Rick Ross stayed silent, knowing there was nothing he could do to undo the damage. The internet had already run wild with the story, and 50 Cent had just cemented one of the most disrespectful moves in hip-hop beef history. But then 50 made a mistake. He took things too far. He leaked a tape featuring another one of Ross's baby mamas, Lastonia Leviston. The move backfired massively, landing him in court. Lastonia sued him for emotional distress and won, costing 50 a staggering $5 million. That lawsuit hit hard, so hard that he had to file for bankruptcy. For the first time in this beef, 50 actually took an L. Meanwhile, Ross kept making music like nothing had happened. And surprisingly, fans didn't seem to care as much about the Officer Ricky narrative anymore. His career remained intact, and the feud seemed to die down. Fast forward, and just when everyone thought the beef was over, Tia Kemp decided she wasn't done yet. She went on Instagram Live and claimed that Rick Ross was still scared of 50 Cent. Why? Because 50 knew too much. Tia didn't hold back, hinting that Ross had deep, dark secrets he was desperately trying to keep hidden. She even suggested he might be involved in something far more serious than rap beef. But things got even messier when some vintage photos of Tia resurfaced, specifically her 2009 Smooth magazine cover shoot. Now, baby mama thirst traps aren't new, but what made these pictures especially scandalous was who she was posing with. The cover showed 50 Cent himself, Ross's longtime enemy, casually playing photographer for Tia like it was his personal art project. In the now viral shot, Tia is perched over 50, rocking nothing but lacy black panties, a sparkly sheer top, and bright red heels, while 50 is stretched out on the floor holding a retro camera, aiming it right at her. And as if the setup wasn't shady enough, Smooth magazine took it even further with a petty subheading. Where's the beef? Guest editor 50 Cent introduces Rick Ross's baby mama. Not only did 50 help Tia land a magazine moment, but he made sure Ross knew exactly who was behind it. Fast forward to today, and these two are still finding ways to take shots at each other. The latest chapter? Rick Ross linking up with Big Meech after his prison release, a move that infuriated 50 Cent. Given that 50 is the executive producer of the BMF TV series, he saw Ross's association with Meech as the ultimate betrayal. Wasting no time, 50 took to Instagram, posting an image of a giant rat with the caption, "I think I'm Big Meech." But that wasn't even the worst part. In the caption, 50 made it clear that Meech had made a huge mistake by distancing himself from one key person, Tammy Cowens. If you're wondering who that is, you're not alone. Tammy was Meech's former assistant and business partner, but here's the twist. She allegedly flipped and became an FBI informant. And just in case that wasn't enough drama, Ross jumped into the mess, laughing at how pressed 50 was over Meech taking a picture with him. Even after all these years, the feud between 50 Cent and Rick Ross shows no signs of ending.
He stepped down from the position, and I asked him about it. Of course, he denied it, which his sister confirmed it and told me that he was a correction officer, and,
The back and forth between Ross and 50 is endless, but one person who might enjoy clowning Ross just as much as 50 is Tia. She dragged Ross into Diddy's freak-off party scandal, claiming he was involved in the same shady dealings that landed Diddy in hot water with federal trafficking charges. The back and forth between Ross and 50 is endless, but one person who might enjoy clowning Ross just as much as 50 is Tia. She dragged Ross into Diddy's freak-off party scandal, claiming he was involved in the same shady dealings that landed Diddy in hot water with federal trafficking charges. That wasn't even the first time Tia called him out. She went on Instagram Live, clowning Ross for staying silent about Diddy's actions. But she wasn't just ranting. She came with receipts and wasn't afraid to name drop.
Like the f***ing Diddy doula parties. I'm in this that's another thing. When is we gonna see you over there with Sean Cole?
Tia took it even further, accusing Ross of being involved in orchestrating hits.
Go give dog a f***ing hug like I said. He was on his nuts. Oh, that f***ing year. You and Kelly, big fat. Kelly, your fat ass go out there cut your yard trying to go viral like Will with no shoes on. Boy, we know goddamn you ain't cutting nothing but a fucking tomahawk.
Her next move? Blowing the whistle and sending federal authorities straight to Ross's doorstep. Then, things took a dark turn. Kemp stunned fans by bringing up a murder, dropping the name Miss Carroll and implying Ross had some connection to the tragic death, raising even more questions about his past.
Don't be scared now. No Diddy, huh? You scared now, huh? I know y'all on them tapes. Freaky I know you is. 10 churn hat. It's time to show them churns now. I ain't gonna let off you.
If you're wondering who Miss Carroll is, Kemp claimed she was murdered after leaving her mother's house, with ties to Ross and his crew. She even mentioned a man who was shot in front of Black House, suggesting yet another potential connection to Ross's inner circle.
So we better clock this tea right here. Renee says you want to stay keeping up. We better talk about some real tea.
Then, on an episode of Kisha Please, Tia spilled even more tea. First things first, she had some things to clear up. After 18 years of co-parenting drama with Rick Ross, she's beyond tired of the games and ready to expose it all.
Your brother over there paying people to put this out. He over there paying people to put this out. And he's running off with his money and it's getting back to me. So now, I'm finna send the feds over there to y'all motherfucking empire. See, you had the right bitch today, ho.
Imagine trying to raise a son while the other parent keeps pulling disappearing acts, popping back up like some twisted game of peekaboo. Tia's had enough. She's not just here for flashy headlines. She's airing out all the family drama, dirty laundry, and receipts she's been holding onto for years. And guess what? She claims Rick Ross has more kids than he can even keep track of, adding yet another layer to the mess.
We gonna talk about Miss Carroll. Y'all know who Miss Carroll is. You know that's behind your brother. I'm finna make sure her family sue y'all whole estate, cause that case is not closed.
Tia hinted that Ross has some hidden secrets, including an alleged child with a Russian woman, something he's kept quiet for years.
We finna dig up a whole bunch of motherfucking maggots right now, ho. I'm not finna play with you, you Ozempic bitch.
But it's not just about Ross being a dad. According to Tia, he's more focused on flexing his power and ego than actually supporting his son. She told Young Miami about the time Ross tried to send their son to a random college in Mississippi, just to keep him closer to his grandmother.
18 years of the back and forth. If, people that's been around know.
Tia also opened up about the challenges of raising a child in the public eye. Her son is now attending an HBCU, but she painted a heartbreaking picture of him having to explain to his classmates why his father didn't show up to his high school graduation. This is a kid who once had his dad cheering him on at football games, yet when it came to one of the biggest milestones of his life, Ross was nowhere to be found.
I'm getting that. I don't need your fucking check. It wasn't even about your check. You didn't have that when I met you. So my baby wasn't a check baby. All of the 9 or 10 kids you got now, those are check babies.
He got 10 kids now?
Oh yeah, y'all didn't know that? See, he only acknowledged toy or whatever y'all know about. Whatever y'all could Google, but
Girl, it's about 9 or 10 children.
Tia isn't shy about how much this has hurt her and her son, but what frustrates her even more is how Ross uses their child as a pawn in their ongoing drama. And as for Ross's sister, Renee, if you thought Tia's beef with Ross was intense, she has an entire side of shade reserved just for her.
He was talking about Drake, girl. He got one that looked just like Drake from a Russian woman. I can't wait till he put that one out there. What you waiting on, fat back?
Apparently, Renee has been meddling in Tia and Ross's business since day one. Tia has zero respect for her and doesn't hold back in explaining why.
Can you imagine having a parent that's, been in and out, being supportive at one point and not being supportive, and you just in the middle of things? You have done nothing. Regardless of what me and Ross' issues are, he's not supposed to take that out on my son. And for years, he has been using Lil Will as a scapegoat because he know that's the only thing can hurt me.
Tia also opened up about an altercation she had with one of Ross's other baby mamas.
He just had a father that was there throughout the past couple years of his high school football games. Why you couldn't make it to his high school graduation? You could have stood on the other side of the auditorium.
And you think that was because of you?
Of course. It's to trigger me in some certain way, make him feel a certain way.
Then Tia gets real about the pressure she's faced over the years to keep quiet for the sake of keeping the peace, but after 18 years, she's done being silent.
Renee is in the middle of everything because she handle everything for Will. So we'll listen to a lot of things that Renee says. You get what I'm saying? Renee is a bitter person because she's never had a man to not do anything for her.
Tia also revealed that Ross has been trying to silence her with cease and desist letters, threatening legal action if she doesn't stop talking. But Tia? She doesn't care. She told Ross to take his legal threats and shove them. Ross tried to respond, but by then, the damage was done. The internet was already connecting the dots, and it wasn't looking good for him. People started questioning everything. Was there more to Ross's past than we knew? Was he hiding something darker? Did 50 Cent actually win this beef? Or did Ross manage to survive despite the humiliation? And most importantly, why is Ross so scared of 50 Cent? What does 50 know that we don't? Trust me, this story is far from over. If you thought this was wild, wait until you hear what's coming next. Stay tuned, because this tea is just getting started.